Hi dolls, Mercedes here. Today's podcast is talking about my mixtape Street 902, which was my very first project as Mercedes. I recorded it while I was studying sound engineering, and I really enjoyed working on the album. I had an opportunity to work with some great people, and I got to learn a lot about Mercedes as an artist. So a quick little rant before I get into the creative stuff. For anybody who's interested in the nuts and bolts side of things, the mic that I used to record the album was a U87 Neumann. Plugins that I used were SSL EQs and compressors. I also use some EQs and compressors that Pro Tools has to offer. And my DAW, which is a digital audio workstation, I used was Pro Tools 10 at that time. And the boards that were used was an SSL 2448 digital channel board. And the other board that was used was a 16 channel analog Toft. Alright, so for the creative side of these things, behind the madness. So, Street 902 was my very first project as Mercedes. And as I said, I recorded it while I was in engineering school. And I had a lot of fun doing it. I had the opportunity to work with some great people on every track. And there's definitely a lot of stories behind them, which we will discuss. The photos for the mixtape, fun little story about those is that was actually a photo shoot that I did with one of my friends / photographers back when I was 18 years old in high school. So when you see those pictures, that was young 18-year-old Mercedes. I know, that's pretty fucked, isn't it? Because I'm kind of old now. But yeah, so you see me with, I know the pictures are black and white, but I had brown hair back then. That's actually my natural hair color. I'm a brunette, not a redhead. And my hair was extremely long, as you can see in the photos. My hair was like literally almost down to my waist. I don't have hair like that anymore, obviously, as you guys have seen in my other photos from my other projects. But yeah, I did that in an empty room in my house, and we just had a white background sheet that we hung up in the back, and we just took those random photos. And I honestly wasn't even sure at first what project they were going to be used for. We were just kind of playing around with different ideas. But then you fast forward a little bit, when I actually was putting my mixtape together, I decided to use those photos because it was my first project as Mercedes, and it was me introducing you guys to her and having you get to know a little bit of me as Sam, but also a little bit of Mercedes. And I feel like the photos kind of spoke a little bit of both, a little bit of Mercedes, but a little bit of Sam too. And I thought that it would be a good fit for Street 902, because Street 902 itself is a little bit of Sam, but a little bit of Mercedes as well, because each track has us in it. Some a little more Mercedes, some a little more Sam, and I wanted to have those pictures because I felt like they would really fit with it. And since this was kind of the very start of all of you meeting Mercedes, I figured, why not have those really cool raw photos of me literally in my very beginning, before any of you got introduced to her. Now I'm just going to discuss the tracks that are on it. There's 4 tracks on the mixtape, and I will talk a little bit about each of them, kind of what my idea behind them is, and, share little stories about them and insight behind the madness. In my mind, things are all combined. In my mind, thoughts stop and rewind. Some of life's mysterious ways, voices in an unknown amaze. My dreams are puzzle pieces, just like a huge mystery.
strange like an unknown species. See life in its fucked up ways, watching its destructive rays, burning all that's in his path, feeling the heat of his wrath. Man's feel like fucking years, a lifetime of flowing tears. The pain grabs and likes to tear, it constantly swirls there.
So the first track is In My Mind, and In My Mind is basically kind of me being Sam and Mercedes. It kind of shows that like internal battle kind of between us, how I feel and how she feels, and you know, just kind of showcasing those inner kind of struggles that I deal with or Mercedes deals with. And the reason why I kind of say like splitting them is just sort of because Sam was always more of a very shy and very quiet individual, very nervous and kind of afraid to show herself to people, where Mercedes is much more fearless. You know, she's the complete opposite. She's very strong, she's very fearless, she's very ambitious, and, you know, she says whatever she says. You know, she's kind of that drive force that lives within Sam to kind of help her be who Sam is. Being able to make it through the hard times and being able to just not take shit from anybody.
I miss you every day. You used to be my desire. This anger increases. I'm split into pieces.
You don't know how I feel inside. No. And I can see it in your eyes. You're hiding behind that ice.
So the second track for this project is called Never Say Goodbye. That song is about a breakup that Sam went through. It was a very tough breakup. I wrote it because I really needed some closure for the breakup, because it was an ugly breakup, even though I didn't want it to be an ugly breakup. You know, I know sometimes you can't control that, because I mean, you never know how the other person's going to feel about it, or you know, how things are going to go down, because everybody has their own feelings and their own opinions. And I wanted to still be friends with my ex and try to keep things peaceful, but he felt differently. I wrote that song kind of as a way to kind of speak my piece and sort of give me closure and move past it, because it was very, very tough, because he was the first real boyfriend I had ever had. And it was definitely tough times, because even though our relationship wasn't working, I still really appreciated and admired his friendship. And, you know, at the time I was trying to hold on to that, even though we definitely needed to go our separate ways. So I wrote it just kind of venting about the heartbreak and just kind of venting about everything that I was feeling at the time. I guess in a way, I sort of wrote it in a perspective as if I was writing to him or speaking to him. Like if I had a chance to be able to say something to him again, that would have been it. Like that song, because obviously after our breakup, he just kind of stopped speaking to me. And I felt like there was so much on my chest that I wanted to get off. So me doing what I do best, I wrote a song about it, and Never Say Goodbye was it. And as sad as a song it is, I got to work with some great friends on it, and we had some laughs, some tears, you know, a little bit of sobbing in the booth, but it was definitely a really good experience, and it really helped me to get past it. I really needed to kind of get in the booth and vent and just get all those feelings that I had in me out, and just kind of in my own way say goodbye so I could move on. And for anybody who's gone through shitty breakups, you probably know what I'm talking about, because you know, saying goodbye is a very hard thing to do. You have to try and find some kind of closure and peace within yourself. So then that way you're not constantly having anger or having all this what ifs and whatnot running through you. So that was kind of my way of not having all those what ifs and that anger. It was a way for me to, I think, 110% let go.
This is the shit I yearn for, so take their wrong turn. They're just gonna hate, so they can underrate. At least I ain't fake, you see. You'll never burn brighter than she. I'm unstoppable, I'm not toppable. Watch out, I'm flammable. Can shut me the fuck up. Hip-hop and I will ever break up. I'll slap, rap, calling the bullshit crap. The frost seems getting clear. Too jealous cause I ain't lost. Success is getting near. I'll fuck up your mind. Punk ass bitch, think you better. Throw your ass in the shredder. You'll always be behind. I'm a lyrical psycho. Must say it's a miracle though. Keep broadcasting my cold ways.
So third track is Overachieving is Overrated. And that song is really just me rapping about rapping, if that makes any sense. It doesn't really have like an actual personal message behind it. I kind of just wanted to make something really random and kind of like funny and smart ass type thing. Like me just rambling on kind of about stupid things or crazy things. Because sometimes it's really fun to just sit there and write some wild, crazy stuff. Because with rap, I really, really love the technical part of it, much like a lot of my heroes and inspirators do. So it's kind of fun to be able to sit there and just kind of craft words and be able to have like a bunch of crazy rhyme schemes going and, you know, different punchlines, metaphors, and be able to just kind of have fun with the technical part of it. You know, even though you don't really have like a solid message in it, sometimes it's just kind of fun to do that, to write some crazy rhymes. Because, you know, it's always fun to be a little bit competitive and try to, you know, write the craziest shit you can. So then that way, if somebody else hears it and they're like, oh man, I should step my game up and write some crazy shit too, you know? It's like friendly competition. So sometimes I like to do that. And that's kind of what Overachieving is Overrated is. As I just kind of went on of like me rambling about who needs to be on top and perfect. Like, fuck it, do what you want and just be a crazy motherfucker is pretty much the gist of that song. I had a lot of fun doing it. The song is actually 100% composed by myself. I did the beat for it and I wrote the lyrics, obviously, because I write all my own rhymes. I recorded it, mastered it, and it was really, really fun. I really enjoyed it, being able to have a song that was completely done by me. I was actually kind of proud of that. It was my very first instrumentation that I ever composed, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I most certainly would love to continue doing that, because I really do love all aspects of music. I love the lyrics, I love the instrumentation. I just have a really big love for composing.
You should watch what you say, cause things could turn out this way. Get torn down and destroyed. You'll lose the life you enjoyed when things turn out this way. You should watch what you say, cause things could turn out this way. Get torn down and destroyed. You'll lose the life you enjoyed when things turn out this way. Just watch what you say, cause things could turn out this way. Get torn down and destroyed. You'll lose the life you enjoyed. We'll see the sun today when things turn out this way.
So the last song on this mixtape is Turn Out This Way. Turn Out This Way was actually a track that I got when I was like 18 years old. So yes, very young Mercedes. It was originally just a rough, like short demo. It's probably like maybe like a verse and a hook demo, and had a friend who had heard it, a friend at the time, and he was wanting to get on the track. So he extended it out to a full beat, which it is now, because he did hip-hop and he did producing. And fortunately, we didn't get to collaborate on it, so it went back to being a solo track. So I recorded it, and I just did it on my own. In the song, you'll actually hear some backing vocals, but those backing vocals are actually done by a friend of mine who was in the studio with me when I was recording it, helping me record it, or say assisting me recording it. And we were just being idiots pretty much in the studio because, you know, it was a lot of fun to be an idiot. We very much and very often acted like idiots sometimes. So, you know, gotta have some fun, have some stories to tell, right? So he did the backing vocals for it. And at the end of the song, you'll hear him saying, "Oh shit, seatbelts." He was just being funny and being, a smartass. And I thought it was quite funny because that's the type of humor I have. I like to be a smartass too. So for shits and giggles, I actually left it in because, why not? Gives a little character, right? But the shitty part about it, the song, was when I was recording it, I actually was getting over a really shitty cold. So there's actually a part in the song, I don't remember if it's the first or second verse maybe. Anyway, you hear my voice crack. Even to this day, it eats away at my soul and I hate it because I'm like really picky about my work. But when I redid the take over, I just couldn't get it to sound as good as that take. So I just ended up swallowing my pride and just left it in, even though my voice cracked. Because literally after every take, I was in the corner like choking and drinking water because I still had a bit of a cough and stuff. But I really wanted to get the song done because I was kind of on a timeline of when I wanted to get the project done. I figured that was a fun little interesting fact about that when you hear my voice cracking. That 100% was not intended. And another little fun kind of fact about that song is there's a piece in it where I say when it gets rough and you hear it's kind of doubled, it goes rough, rough. That actually was an editing mistake. It sounded kind of cool, so we just ended up adding some backing vocals to it and keeping it. Into the message of the song now. The message was basically, you never know what's going to happen in life. You don't know how things can turn out. You can't tell the future. It's kind of more of a try not to, maybe have grudges with certain people because you never know what can happen to them. You can kind of lose somebody in a blink of an eye. You can just end up not having that person in your life no more. So you don't want to end up having that regret and that guilt because, once someone's gone, then they're gone. That's kind of what that whole message of that song was. So I want to thank everyone for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this. And if you want to check out the mixtape, if you haven't, or if you just want to hear it again because you really enjoy it, you can check it out on YouTube, or you can check it out on my Bandcamp. My Bandcamp is www.mercedes.bandcamp.com. I'll have it linked in the description below. And then here on YouTube, you can check it in my videos. I have all the songs posted. And if you guys really enjoy me kind of telling you the stories behind the madness and sort of my ideas behind the songs when I do them, I can continue doing them. Show this video some love, and I'll continue doing these podcasts, and we can kind of have chats about what my vision is when I create my projects. So I love you guys tons. Stay evil, dolls, and I will see you on the next project.